Alright, seems to be working. That's going through. Alright. Alright. Nail that. Okay, well, that's a good start, isn't it? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to say and admit is that I have not played this map enough to like make any suggestions on like any specific suggestions on positioning, because I simply haven't like it's funny because even the professionals barely know how to play Blizzard World yet, and here we are with another new map not a very long time after, and I don't think anyone really knows how to play this map. I haven't seen any videos of pro players playing on this map, so I have no idea where people would normally set up. But first thing that I'm thinking is that I think the map layout is something like, oh, what the you have this thing over on that side. One second, this isn't working. Here we go. We have this thing, this over here, right? So that's do like this. I think it has somewhat like it's not right. That's not right. So it has to funnel it down. Of course, there's some area inside here where people can walk out. Right like that. Yeah. This area over here, you can sort of walk in like here. God damn it! I'm new to this. 1 second. Alright, so that has an area over there too. This has like that whole area covered, and even more area over there. And then you have the building behind you, which has some high ground. Now I'm not sure. I think the high ground extends over to like over here. And you can like stand up here if that's like pretend that that's a balcony, I don't know, whatever. And so I think the better place for you to be, because this is a thing that's usually a problem with Ana, is that if you're standing directly behind your teammates, they're gonna keep running in front of each other. That might be fixed next time she's updated, but like as it is right now, because her bullets are going to be piercing next time she gets updated. Like if someone's full health runs in front of you, the bullet is just going to pass through, which is nice, but it doesn't really fix the ultimate problem with Ana. But anyway, so the more like either to the side, or if you can get high ground, I wouldn't advise being. Again, this is tough because like no one knows how to play this freaking map yet. But I think being over here or up here, I don't think any of those places are good spots. Because it's too like you're too exposed, you're too easy to dive up there. So I'd suggest figuring out. I think we'll see it later that maybe there's some high ground up there. But again, if we have this road over here and then the building behind is here, if there is some place where you can stand high ground over here, because then you're in cover, you know, from the main part, people would have to flank around inside this thing to try to get to you, or they'd have to go all the way over here, and your team would have an easier time helping with that than if you were, say, up here or up here. So that'd be a good spot. But yeah, no, that's just a general point with Ana, is that you generally want, like, if you have your teammates, then you're like, whatever. That's more than people than you're allowed to have on a team in Overwatch, but never mind. You want to, like, generally as a healer you would position here, but because Ana is the way she is, where, you know, you want to have, like, as clear line of sight of your team as possible, it's always good to try and be, like, at an angle, like, from the side, especially if it's behind cover. That's really good. But, you know, being sort of like, I don't even know what that is, you know, but, you know, you can look at them from that angle, where you're behind some cover, or you're standing in a way where you can, you know, you throw your nade and you don't just hit D.Va in the back, you know. All right, let's see if think that's just a general pointer, because and I know I don't like this spot in particular. I think I'd want you to move more this way and then maybe take peeks out through, because you can walk in through here. So if you could aim through here, that'd also be pretty good. Another tip for Anna, of course, is that people can see, if you scope in, people can see your beam, or not your beam, but your shot, so they can see where you are. If you don't scope in, it's just a projectile, and people can't see that you're standing over here, say, or if you're standing up in the high ground behind. Yeah, that was just a few initial things there. Alright, let's see what happens.
2, 1. Attackers incoming. Stop the payload.
Alright, and another thing I noticed is you're recording this. I don't know if you do just generally play in windowed mode, because I can't remember. I think it can cause input lag to have it in windowed mode rather than dedicated full screen. As in not full screen borderless either, because that will also cause input lag. Like it's not a huge thing, the whole input lag issue. It's you know, maximizing something minimal, but it's just something to keep in mind. Yeah, you actually did the thing naturally there, where you kind of took that angle from where you looked at them over here when they started backing up. But yeah, that's what I'd say you should try and do in general, anyway. Yeah, see, that's the thing that I'm talking about, is that you could not, like, D.Va standing there with a big fat fucking ass is like, why is she there anyway? This is kind of what I'm worrying about. She's a tank, for crying out loud. Why do we have DPS and supports in front of her? That's the real question here, isn't it? But no, yeah, it's, if you had maybe an angle from up top, or you just kept, like, you didn't have to move in over here, I don't think. Let me just try to move back and see what happened exactly. Yeah, no, I don't. You didn't have to keep walking this way, I don't think. You could have stood here and shut in anyway, but that's whatever. That's a minor thing, but yeah, high ground would probably have helped you out there. Oh, you were going for the sleep on the Brigitte there. Yeah. Man, and a sleep dart is so fucking hard to hit. That's just a matter of, again, skill. I do think, like, was there any way that you could see? I mean, you see the Doomfist killing your teammate. I think you should maybe have focused more on Doomfist, to be honest. And see if you could, because that's like, yes, Brigitte is annoying as fuck, but Doomfist is more of an issue for you anyway. He has the higher mobility, he can jump in, he can insta-give people. Instead of trying to sleep Brigitte, they should probably have slept him. Anyway, minor stuff, nitpicking. What was... Oh yeah, the fucking Ryan pushes him out of the way. I don't know if that nade would have actually hit him if... Yeah, no, might have hit him slightly to the side, but again, mechanical thing, that's just practice, whatever. Yeah, that's the other thing with her projectiles, is there's something about Anna's, like, you just have to try to get used to the way that her projectiles work, like maybe go into the practice range and try to shoot bots from different distances and get used to the delay in the projectile itself. Because yeah, it's, I don't know, was that too high or what was that? Yeah, but you're backing up the right way here. I feel like I actually don't think you should hold up here. Again, that's not, you know, you didn't decide that. That was your team, and this is quick play, so I'm guessing you're not communicating with them. I don't. I don't think this is a good spot to hold, to be honest. I think you'd want to be somewhere around here, honestly. Not sure though. This is, yeah, that's the problem with this being a new map. I honestly don't know yet where the good spot is to hold. Okay, this is, well, that's a mess. But like, okay, let me just try to see that again, because what the hell? Right, so the Lucio runs in, you got 2 people running after him. And I'm guessing you make the decision here to say, well, I've got 2 people running after that guy, I don't need to try to... You do turn all the way around, though, and miss the shot on the D.Va. But, yeah, I think helping out your Rhine there is the better decision. But you need to back up. Like, what are you doing? You're moving forward. This is, yeah, your Rhine shouldn't really... I don't know, this is such a mess, right? It's quick play, so it's like, what the hell's happening? He just charges in, he somehow gets away with it. Well, man, yeah, whatever. Yeah, that's another thing where I think you should have just aimed for... Because I would have definitely have my sights up there as well, but then when he falls down here... Because... It's like your target focus very quickly shifts from the person who is on critical health to the person who, first of all, has self-healing. She has to shift. She can just, you know, fucking run away. She has so much sustain. Him, I mean, he's in a tough spot in any case, but I'm pretty sure you shouldn't have shifted your focus so fast. Like, yes, helping your other healer is important, but in this case, it's Moira, like, and she'll use her orb and she'll shift and she'll be fine. But yeah, it's tough. You want to help everyone. Can't always help everyone. I think maybe you should just scope in there. The thing is, of course, with her, when you're not scoped in, it's a projectile, so it has slower travel speed. You would probably be better off here trying to scope in and hit him. Again, I don't know if that would actually have saved him. But, yeah. Grenade in there. Ah, you got him anyway.
I'm on fire. You're wise to stay out of my sight.
Yeah, I think you're still too far up. Like, because, you know, you have a scoped rifle, right? So you can keep backing up a bit. Of course, the area behind you is very open, so maybe I can understand that there's like an instinct to not back too much up because they'll just have completely open sightlines on you if they flank. But the thing is, then they do have to flank. Like, they can't, if you back up and you maybe, like, let's say we have the road here that's like going in. So if you back up, let's say we have the corner, this over here, and you stand maybe over here. I can't remember because I think there's an open area over here where they can walk through. And then walk out, and they can see you there. But again, I think you can also walk in behind, like, even further corners here, right? So you have escape routes, like, you have a lot of choices here. Your team is pushed very far up, however, which is, you know, but again, it's the tough choices you gotta make, man. Like, it's like, do you try to help your team or do you try to look out for yourself? It's just tough. But yeah, no, she needs heals there, and she dies. What were you looking at, actually? Was that just because you got bursted, or was that because... Yeah, she got bursted real fast, didn't she? Let's see. Yeah, but again, this is a situation where you might have been able to help her if you had backed up more instead of... Let me see, what was... Can I see what your reason is? Oh, it's because the Moira... walks forward. She does the face tanking Moira, which is my least favorite version of Moira. Not because she's annoying to play against, but because she's annoying to play with, because she gets so little value. I mean, she does get a double kill there, but I can't even...
I'm on fire.
That was the orb, actually. There's no reason for her to be standing up there. Like, what is this? Like, no. So yeah, no. And the thing is, it ends up with, like, she makes this mistake, then you make the mistake of trying to follow in and help, but that's the best arrow I ever drew. Ugh, whatever. You follow her in, and probably because you do that, she ends up dying, because now she's like, yeah, you realize you're like, what am I doing here? I need to back up. And then, you know, that happens, unfortunately. I mean, again, she might have just gotten bursted the fuck down, but... yeah, I like... this position I like a lot better than you being on the payload or even being behind your team over here. I feel like this is a much better place in general, also because you're not completely, like, you can actually back up this way, if I remember correctly, and you can actually move into this building, I think. I can't quite remember, but I think that's the case. So you still got options to escape. Yeah, that's another thing. If you were on that high ground, you could easier help with that, but you're often caught on low ground with that, unfortunately, and you just can't help. That's a sick sleep. Let me just see that, though. What just happened? Weird. Does that look like that should have hit? What's going on there? Huh. That's funky. Because I see the projectile, and it looks like it's going too much to the side of left of him? Yeah, it's going... I guess it just... No, what? Look at that. It's over here. His hand is here. What? Yeah, but it... Funky. That's funky. Huh. Yeah, because I would say that you had your, like, thing with projectiles is that they're all about the whole prediction aspect of it. So you have a Doomfist coming in. He's not looking at you, he's looking at the Brigitte. So it's a lot about trying to read your opponent's intentions. So he comes in like this, he knocks down Diva, you pull out the sleep dart immediately. I think, yeah. I mean, I'm not sure I could have predicted it, but like, it looks like you do correct for it, though, I think. Like, where, maybe that's why it hits it anyway, maybe the animation's just off, because you do hit it, and it does look like you are correcting for it, right? You flick it a little bit to the right. So maybe there was just something with the animation on the projectile that wasn't quite right. Oh yeah, this is important. Your Diva is actually patiently waiting here. You could have walked in closer on him and done the big damage combo with Anna. It's not an insta-kill like it used to be. It actually used to be that you could kill... No, wait. Doomfist has 250 HP, doesn't he? You might actually not be able to do it, but Diva is there with you. And there we go. Like, you don't have to be healing Diva here right now. You slept the person, and you and Diva are the only ones looking at him. So you need to just start walking up towards him. Because if Diva's standing next to him, he's gonna be hit by the nade anyway, right? So she's patiently waiting here. She's like, wait, okay, so we should probably do this. You throw the nade too early. Because you can't get in the... Like, I know with Doomfist that you walk up to him, he can get the... you know, the punch on you, and he'll gain some shields. He might be able to insta-give you, but again, you have Diva with you. She should be able to peel, at least in principle, but again, it's quick play. I saw they were a 5-stack, so they might just be fucking around, and he has no idea what he's doing. He might just have... maybe this is the first time he's seen anyone been slept in, you know, for what, who knows, right? So he's like, what is this? Yeah, and then he gets to run away, unfortunately, with, the anti-heal there. Yeah, it's, I mean, I don't know if the Diva would have actually really been able to help you there. Not because, I mean, she should be. Like, this is so weird, too. She starts shooting at the wall. Do you see that? What? And she turns. And what is she looking at? Because her line of sight is not... It's like she's struggling with like the tracking aspect of it. Like what's I don't know, maybe there's something wrong with my eyes. I'm looking at it at the wrong angle, but he goes that way. She goes this way? What? I'm so confused. Sleep. He goes left. Sleep. Go. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. That's funky. Whatever. But yeah. No. The anaconda. Let me just think if I can. 1 second. Because I can actually. I think I can remember what it is. And. See. Need the game recorder on. 1 second. Reporting. Wizard. Not doing anything. Oh, right. I didn't have it.
Never stop fighting for what you believe in.
Alright. I think... Oh, what do we have? Just sleep in here.
Next time.
So you walk all the way up to him, because then you can get a melee punch in there, and I think it's... Yeah, it's, I think that's the fastest way to do it, is if you shoot E, shoot, nade, and then punch. It doesn't, like, it used to be that you could do the things almost instantaneously, all of them. They nerfed that, unfortunately. So now you can, like, do it punish first. I can try the nade first. Yeah, it's definitely shoot first, then nade, and then punch. That's a huge amount of damage you deal to someone who's, sleeping. You do it right.
Feeling sleepy?
Yeah, you can see how that happens almost instantaneously, and then they're one shot. Like, the diva might not have been able to help you there because she was botting out, but in a setting where people have some semblance of a clue, like, as to what they're doing, they would have been able to kill off that Doomfist really easily. Yeah, because there's no escaping that combo. It's just so fast, right? Like the shot and the nade. Oh wait, no, you had already naded him. Oh wait, no, you hadn't naded him. He was sleeping. I just got my things mixed. I thought I messed up. Yeah. Yeah, mouse 1, E, or whatever your key bindings are. Alright. Take that out. Just close the sound from the game for a second here. Right. Go. Yeah, so that's the thing that you wanted to do there instead of, because Diva's fine right now. Like, don't worry about that. He's okay. You needed to just walk up to the Doomfist, shoot nade, try to punch him. He might get the punch on you, of course, and he'd gain some shields. But again, if your teammates had any fucking idea what they were doing, they would very easily be able to kill him even after that. I think. I hope. She could use a small heal, but I mean, I understand your hesitation in walking in there. But you know, you're really looking at that Hanzo, and I understand, because it's like, could he just peek me? Maybe could he just could he help me out? You know, I don't have a feeling. Actually, I think is that balcony also exposed? I'm not even sure. No, I don't think it is. I think that's why Hanzo's walking this way, is because he can see that that's not exposed. Man, I should check it out or something. Yeah, no, so I think if you were up there, like, you wouldn't be able to help Lead, honestly, like, obviously, not honestly, obviously, but it's definitely something to consider. Try to get high ground, but if you get high ground, get it behind cover. Again, I still think that this is probably, if you don't want to be up there, I think this is the place where you should be at almost all times. No, again, this game is a mess, right? It's quick play, standard quick play, so I don't even know if this is like a good or bad nano, if it's just a nano that exists in the game. 6 sleep, by the way. Let me just see that again, because that's actually pretty funny. Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah. Ah, they don't get him again, they just wake him up. Yeah, that's why it's in comp. This is a funny thing too, by the way. I didn't realize that you could actually hurt the turret with the nade. I don't know. I just never thought that was a thing. Learn something new every day. Yeah, don't like, he's throwing. Like, you don't have to worry about this guy. He's throwing. Fuck him. Just keep looking at your team, because that's like. And also, yeah, when something like this happens, there's millions of other people who are looking at him going, like, oh, we gotta get that guy. It's like, no, you don't have to. Just focus on the front line, keep your tanks healed, whatever. You also, that's also what you decide to do, so. Correct decision. Kinda? Well, your Reinhardt's not making the right decision there. He got away with it, of course, because... Okay, he didn't, actually. Now is the time for backing up. Or going all Rambo on their asses as... Whoa, yeah, that's what I thought. They can actually walk all the way around there. That's interesting. That's good to know. Walk all the way around there. So yeah, so when... And I don't even know if, like... Could we even see them moving up there? Or do they have, like, an exit that's not even visible from the side, maybe? I'm wondering. Because the Rhine dies to the McCree, right? Yeah, he dies to the McCree. So they must have some path over that's not this bridge. I mean, that would be crazy as well if that was the only way over, but yeah. So this is also a general thing that you might want to just be aware of, is counting the enemy teammates and trying to remember who died recently and who's still alive. Because one of the big things I remember when I was ranking up is that I had to just get used to, like, what I felt was a really stupid and shitty play, because you're basically baiting your team, right? You're using your team as bait to do it. So you go all the way around the freaking map, like the Doomfist and the McCree are doing right now, flanking all around, like here. Like, you'd never see that in a pro play game, right? Because the teams stick together and they call, you know, things out, and they can see that if there's like 3 people on the enemy team that aren't there, then they know, well, he's like, they must be somewhere else then. They're walking around somewhere else. Could be. Is it because you spot that here, actually, that... It's a few shots, that's fine, whatever. That's gonna happen on it. Also, like, you know, trouble's coming when Hanzo's body just flies past you. It's hilarious. Oh my god, yeah. Ugh, yeah, that's rough. So how could this have been prevented? Well, he would have been able to knock you into this wall, right? If you had been standing over here. I mean, he would have been able to knock you into this, right? But you could have been backed even further up, and he would definitely have had a harder time doing it, because he wouldn't have been able to get in so close quarters to you. He could just jump in on you there and then blam. But that's just a general thing about awareness. Like, you constantly have to look over your shoulder in Overwatch, because people make these stupid plays that on paper they shouldn't fucking work, but public matches are clusterfuck, so they do, right? Because, you know, no one's pointing out that, hey, I can't see their Doomfist. Maybe he's probably on a flank. Let's back up and make it impossible for him to do anything. Yeah. Teams doing quick play things, and they're getting away with it. Wait, so this is the last part of the map, is it? Huh. Wait, really? That's not a very big map then, is it? Wait, where was the spawn? Spawn's not here. I mean, it looks like it's the last part then. I mean, that's not a very big map then, is it? Oh. Oh well. Yeah. I don't know that that nade was necessary. Like, I know that that's you know, it heals a whole lot. It makes it easier to heal people. And it burst heals, which is like, it's the only actual burst healing mechanic in the game. Like, people have referred to it as burst healing, but the nade, it's actually the only burst heal in the game. It's the only thing that actually heals instantly and doesn't tick. You know. But yeah, no, I don't like, also because Moira's also like, I can't even see the enemy team here. I don't think, like, they're not in a spot and everyone's standing behind Reinhardt's shield, so it's better to just like don't use your nade, because it is on a pretty big cooldown. Because it's such a powerful tool, but it's the most power that this tool has is offensively. As in, you want to use it to anti the enemy team as much as you can get away with. Only use this if you can see that you just like, you're out of ammunition, or you just don't have any other option and you have to heal someone right fucking now. But you can't use it too freely, because you really want to have those anti-nades ready as much as possible. There was some, I think there's something with your target priority. Let me just see this again. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, you can't quite, like, you didn't have to jump around there, I don't think. And you were actually in a pretty good spot. Is it because you see the diva fly in? You think they're all moving in, so you need to move in as well? Because I feel like you could have just stood there and shot, probably not even needed to scope. You could have just kept shooting from this angle here. It's like, stand still, you don't have to jump around. Okay, yeah, no, they all moved in there. That's fair that you want to get a look at that. But here's the thing, right? There's a spot in here where you have complete cover from this side of the map, right? You can stand in here and you can shoot out, and you can do that without scoping in, so people don't, like, they don't even realize that you're actually in here, the enemy team, that is. I mean, your team probably doesn't either, you know, because they're clueless, but that's Overwatch, fortunately. So yeah, I think you should just, like, if you wanted to move anywhere to help these guys out, because I know that it's tempting to, this is the fastest way around, of course, yes, but is it also the safest? Because when you put your own life on the line when you put yourself in compromising positions. So it's probably better to just take the chance here, that because they look fine right now, right? Like, you naded them, and the Moira's there. Like, there shouldn't be an issue here. You should easily be able to just walk in here and take the shots out from like, corners are your best friend, and I've seen you hug corners pretty tightly throughout these games, like, relatively tightly, and that's a good thing. But I think you need to be even more aware of, like, the angles that you can get. Like, this is another situation where you're standing behind your team, where you could be standing, like, to the side of them instead, and have maybe, I mean, they're pretty balled up here, so it might not make a huge difference in this specific case, but you definitely be able to potentially have better sightlines if you were in here, I think. Again, this map, I'm not used to it. I haven't played it enough. That's also a case of where, if he'd been scoped in, well, it was the mine, so he might have got bursted down anyway. But it's like, if you, because there's a small amount of delay, right? Like, the problem is with Mercy, when you change targets on Mercy, it's like instant, right? Like, and there's no, she doesn't have to reload her healing, she doesn't have to, That's another thing with the reloading, by the way. I might come to that later. I can't remember. I just quickly watched it before we were doing this. I was doing this. Yeah. No, I don't think you need to nade there, and... Like, obviously, you wouldn't have been able to save him, I don't think, if you'd moved in here. But, again, I mean, the real question is, why is he over there? Like, he has a shield, he has an entire team of allies just waiting to help him, heal him. He's not even using the cover. He could be standing behind freaking stone thingy, hedge, whatever that is, right? Not doing that, because... I don't know. Who knows what the motivation of these people is. Alright, get knocked around. Yeah, that's unfortunate. And that again, that's another thing that wouldn't have happened if you hadn't moved beyond you know, your cover there. And if you'd been standing in here, I think you might have been able to see both of these guys without having to actually expose yourself, unless of course you were using the scope, in which case you would be exposing yourself, because they can see the line. You can't when it's just a projectile, but whatever. It happens. Yeah, you have two healers. You have one other main healer, actually, right? And you have Brigitte as well, who also does... I think... No, wait, I think what I said before was actually incorrect. I think hers is also burst heal, like an actual burst heal, where it's just immediate. Like with McCree's damage versus, you know, like, let's say Mercy, who goes do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. You know, with McCree it's just boom, 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 dead. I think Brigitte's heal ability is also instant, actually.
It'll take more than that to keep me out of the fight.
Doesn't hit the nades. That's also, I mean, that's just a question of, again, practicing, figuring out how exactly the nade works, because it falls in that weird arc where it's most effective to use it. I don't think there's any obvious cases in this video in particular, but in general, you want to try and look for, you know, ceilings like that are close to like with enemies or teammates, right? Because you hit something on the ceiling, you hit it on the ceiling, it would definitely hit Reinhardt if he was standing here, say, for example. And that's a really good way of getting around enemy barriers or whatever. If you had the whole enemy team standing in here, and you hit a sleep dart, not a sleep dart, an anti-nade on the ceiling, they'd probably all be anti. That's just another general hip. That's any use. Missed a sleep dart, it's just unfortunate. Yeah, this is a tragic series of events that happen right here. I mean, it's not your fault at all. Not your fault at all here. Other than, you know, missing, but again, aim practice, it's gonna, that's just, you know, that's just gonna come. I can't, like, yeah, wait, yeah, quick play, I guess. Just a charge, and there's just no one, like, so he just keeps running in. He doesn't die. Like, that McCree not dying is so... Yeah, I don't know. Let me see what you could have done. Other than hit your shots, that is, of course. Let me see here. Right, so yeah, so you also try to peel for the D.Va, which is really good. He can't hit the D.Va, he realizes, because baby D.Va is really difficult to hit. So he just says, fuck it. Goes out. Gets slapped a little round, but then forgotten by the Brigitte? Or maybe she thinks he charges McCree off? What? This is weird. It's like your team sort of knows that he's there, and they like hit him or slap him or try to charge him once, and then whatever. Let's just let him do whatever, right? This is another situation where I think your target priority is a bit off. Could you see his health? it's like I feel like the Doomfist there is not as big of a threat as that McCree, and I think the McCree is an easier target because he's already under pressure, so he's bound to like just be more stressed out, probably have more predictable movement, whereas Doomfist's movement is so weird and odd. There's also the fact that, you know, you have a teammate who's critical, and yet you turn away to shoot at the Doomfist. I'm not sure I agree with that decision. It's not... I mean, because here's the thing. If you actually kill him, you don't. No, that's... I mean, of course that's the thing, but that's, again, the thing we just... I mean, say it like this. Like, the pros and cons with going for the McCree, if you do kill him, it's huge. But, first of all, it's easier for you to hit your Baguette because she, you know, the hitbox of Anna's, when you're scoped in, you probably know this, but when you're scoped in as Anna, this entire thing is like your hitbox. If you hit an ally anywhere in here, you will give them healing. So in so many ways, it's just better to, you know, to either stay on your target that you've already acquired, because the thing is, when you switch a target, you're also using time moving your crosshairs across the screen, and it's not like, oh my god, that's so much time that you're using moving that, but it does something, you know. It's just like you have your crosshair over here, then you move it all the way over here because you know that he's there, but it's like, this McCree is the bigger threat right now to your team. And he's just, in general, I think he's just a better target. He doesn't have the same movement that Doomfist has. Doomfist's movement is really erratic, it's fast, it's erratic, he has a weird, like, arching low gravity fall while he's in the air. It's all super odd, whereas McCree only has his roll, and I think he used that earlier. I don't remember. Did he? No, he actually doesn't. Oh, no, he does, right. So this McCree is out of options. Those are the things that you also need to remember. He used his flash. He's used his roll. His kit is done. Like, he's got the shots in his magazine, but that's it. So you need to take it, and also, like, if you keep your crosshair over here, it would also be a lot easier, because there's more enemies, and there's more of your teammates. Like, right, so there's the soldier, there's the McCree, and your teammates are over here as well. So, if you just focus on this area, you don't have to move your crosshair as much. Instead, you choose to move it all the way across the payload here. And all the targets over here, that will be good. Like, even if you miss the McCree, there's a good chance that, you know, if you place your crosshair, if you aim, like, let's say here, around here, right? There's a good chance that even if you miss the McCree, you'll hit your Baguette. And you might actually have been able to do something there. Yeah. Unlucky. Again, if you had hit him there, you should probably have taken that shot there, to be honest. Let me just see. Yeah, I think this is actually a case where, you know, you can see that the Junkrat pretty much full health. I don't think, even if McCree hits a headshot, he won't be able to kill him. So if you trust in your aim, you just go for the shot on this guy, because he's super low. Again, he's probably stressed out. Like, he came all the way from over here, for crying out loud. He did a roll over here, and he doesn't have his flashbang. He might be getting it back now, but, like, I mean, he's gotta be an easy target at this point. But it's like, yeah, well, so here's the thing, right? There's a word we use that's called boostio, and it's because mostly it's Lucio who runs in front of Anna at the least convenient time. And yeah, they've actually introduced a voice line for him for that specific reason. I don't know how much of that you know, but I just think it's funny to remark on, like, how often this happens even to players in high elo, because I mean, how the hell were you supposed to know she was gonna choose to walk in front of you there, right? Like, I guess the thing is that you could have done here, maybe that would have helped, is stay on this slight high ground that you have. You don't really have any time to reposition, so it's like, well, what's your position going to be? Well, it's going to have to be the place where you can see your teammates on the enemy team, and that's just it. There's nothing else that you can really do here, I don't think. Because it would take way too long to get up there, and, you know, walking over here would also just... People could die, or they could not die, the enemy team, in that time. But I don't think walking forwards here is really, like, or at least not keep walking forwards. Like, I can understand that you want to maybe get, like, slightly more vision over this part, but yeah, I think having, also because then you can see over the payload, whereas where you're moving in now, it covers him. So I don't think you'd actually even have been able to hit that nano on him there. Even if the diva hadn't fucked it. By the way, you can change the settings for how sensitive the nano is, like the nano marker. I like how she likes to get eyes of lightning too, like she looks so scary. That thing out of a fucking horror movie. But, let's see what else.
Get in there.
He's falling in a predictable arc that you actually want to stay zoomed in there. Because he's falling in a way, you know, like, move your cursor over here. Because he looks like someone's trying to get away, so he's probably gonna run in there, right? But you zoom out, which you don't have to. You should have just stayed zoomed in, because he's dropping down now. And I think you would actually have been able to hit him over here if you had just, let's see. Yeah, he comes down. Yeah, he does make, like, the turn in very fast, but if you kept your crosshair over here and just, like, because it's so easy to predict falling targets, right? Like, you know what the curve is, or the trajectory is gonna be here, right? Just, it's gonna be straight down. Like, there's no other way for him to go here, really. Yeah. And then there's the slight curve, of course. I think you'd be able to hit him. Not completely sure, but just in general, when you see falling targets like this, just stay scoped in. Try to hit him. You know, you scope out. I don't know, it could be an accident, of course. You could have misclicked. I don't know.
All systems checked out.
Yeah, we've all been there. Or at least anyone who's played Anna has been there. That's for sure. Yeah. Again, the face tanking Moira. You didn't have to reload, I don't think. This is very crucial. It's one of those things with Anna that you really need to try to min-max as much as possible. It's like the downtime with your reloads. Because she's still in there, right? She's still in the danger zone. Right around her. Yeah, the McCree's right there. He gets the flashbang out. You could potentially have saved her here if you hadn't... Like, again, she could have saved herself by not being a complete fucking idiot. But, you know, that's just how it is in this freaking game, right? Like, you as a support, it is your curse to correct your teammates' mistakes. Because they don't fucking know how to do it. So, yeah. Considering when to reload, because the thing is, like, it's not even... You're not even half down, you know, you're in 7, you have 10, use 3 shots, that's quick maths. And you start reloading, downtime, dies. Fat nade? Nah, it wasn't too fat. Again, that's just learning the trajectory of, there's not so much to say, like, that's another just mechanical skill. Learn how her projectile works. Try to just, like, use some of the bots in the practice range to stand at different ranges, try to hit sleep darts and figure out how fast your projectiles are, like how much do you have to try to compensate. Yeah, that's another situation where, I mean, you were on the way back out, I think. No, wait, no, you were already here, There's no excuse. I was about to make an excuse that you were on the way back, but you're not. You peek around here. I'm not sure why. Now, you don't really have any reason to start peeking around there, because your team that you can... I mean, I don't know, maybe you were looking for something? Maybe you thought someone was over there, but... Like, you could have just... Like, when there's spam in the game, you always want to try to avoid to stand, like... What I said before, of course, is that it like, you start moving in behind your own team. Kinda. So that's already, like, not the good place to be. Wait, let me just see. What is it you do? Oh, it would have been such a fat nade, though. Yeah. Right, okay, no. It's like you walk out, you change your mind, you feel like, I shouldn't actually be here, and then that happens. To be fair, if your fucking baguette would have just turned around and helped you, given you an armor pack, it wouldn't have happened either. But again, what could you have done? Well, you could have stuck to the corner and just made sure that, like, whatever spam would come rolling in from there wouldn't be able to actually hit you. If it did, it would be the very minimal AoE damage that it could potentially do, and not a direct hit. Yeah, he's not even aiming for anyone specific. Like, he's just spamming. So that's just unlucky. That, you know, again, what could you have done? Well, be furthering, I guess. But I mean, yeah, it's because Junkrat's such a high skill ceiling hero, you know. So you really need to, you know your stuff to outplay him. That fucking character, dude. That's another thing. Like, there's a general point about Anna. I kind of want to say, like, it's like, poor Anna. Like, she went from being probably the best healer in the game to being possibly the worst one. Hopefully that's gonna change when her new update goes through. But it's just like, with Anna, there's so many things that can go wrong. There's so many things that, you know, like, you're standing behind your team. Moira can just fucking hold down left click and she just heals everyone in front of her. Like, it doesn't even go through them. It doesn't or yeah, no, it goes through them. Like, it doesn't stop at the one person that she's standing behind. The orb as well, right? Just passes through people. Goes in. Like, it's, yeah. Yeah. It's the no skill meta, unfortunately. Blizzard don't quite understand that a character like Anna would, like, her entire kit are skill shots, right? Mercy doesn't have a single skill shot. Lucio has some. Zenyatta has a bunch, but not all his abilities. Not all Lucio's abilities are skill shots either. And I don't know if you can really call Moira's Piss Beam a skill shot. I think it's kind of like Mercy's, to be honest, as long as you're close enough. Anna's the only one, I think, out of the supports whose kit is 100% skill shots. I mean, other than the ultimate, of course, which is, I mean, it's not a skill such as skill. Man, I can't speak. Apparently, it's not a skill shot as such, but it's, you know, it can go wrong, as we saw earlier anyway. You can't do that with Mercy's ultimate. That's like, you can use it at the wrong time, but you can, like, use it on the wrong person, so to speak. So Anna just has so many, like, so many things that can go wrong with Anna. So it's like, you just have to be aware that, yeah, like, if you want to play Anna, like, it's you're gonna be stressed out. Or rather, you should be. It's kind of a weird thing to say, but, like, as Anna, you need to just constantly be busy looking around, looking for things, and just hit your shots. And if you're not hitting your shots, you need to, like, shit, I don't know, just try harder. Try even harder. Because you gotta hit the shots. That's the way you get the maximum value out of Anna. It's the sleep dart and the nade as well. Try to get used to how they work. But that just comes with playing, of course, so I don't really need to say that. Sick shot.
Ellen, I see.
If we all there to beat this,
Again, you don't have to use the nade there. What? Okay. Maybe you did, but not like that anyway. What happens there even? Let me just see that again. Let me just see that again.
30 seconds remaining.
Ellen, I see.
if we all
Right.
there to beat this,
No. That's also another thing to remember, by the way. D.Va gets another chance, so to speak. So if you have two tanks, D.Va is one of them. Your highest priority is always the one who doesn't, like, she loses her mech, she drops out, and she can actually get the mech back if you know the situation is such that, or the conditions are such that that's possible. So she's not your priority there. Like when you choose to heal her instead of, let's say, Brigitte or Ryan, that's a pretty big mistake. Like, it's funny, isn't it? Because it's like, with Anna, like, those decisions can seem small, but they're just so damn crucial to how she works, right? Because if you start healing the wrong target, you could potentially run out of ammunition. You use your nade too early, you might not be able to heal up people later when they really need it. Like, it's so much about trying to figure out, like, so which target has the most priority for me right now? It's very different from Mercy, because you can just kind of go back and forth between whoever needs healings. You can fly and heal the Rhine for a bit, go over, heal the Brigitte for a bit, heal the D.Va for a bit, heal the... easily switch between all of them. Lucio doesn't have to worry because he just runs in with his AoE. Zen put his orb on someone, but that's not going to save anyone anyway if they're in a bad spot. Yeah. And Moira can use her orb, and she can just blast through everyone at the same time with all her Pez. So it's like, I think Anna's the only one where you just, like, those hardcore decisions, and there's just, so there's a huge payoff if you do the right thing, and there's just a huge, like, downfall, like, the consequences of making the wrong choices as Anna, or not hitting your skill shots, are potentially huge compared to, like, the things that a lot of the other supports can do, and that's also why she's not too strong right now, unfortunately. Really a shame that Blizzard have, like, just gone the way of, that's just, like, if people just hold down left click, then they heal everyone, and Anna's standing there like, oh shit, I have to aim and left click. Fuck.
all there to beat this.
Yeah. No, the Anna there is not your target priority. I mean the D.Va, because she gets another shot. She gets another shot. You need to be healing the Ryan. If you couldn't manage to heal the Ryan, then the Brigitte. I mean, I understand why you might not be healing her. That's because she's also support, but she doesn't actually have a whole lot of self-healing, unfortunately. She gets some when she punches someone, but that's the trade-off, right? She has to get into people's faces and hit them. Sick sleep. Yes. I like that as well. Like, there's not been any occasions here where I can really talk about nano use. But again, nano is, I feel, not a reaction ultimate as I like to just think about it. Like with Zenyatta, that's mostly like you're reacting to a push or you're reacting to an ultimate coming from the enemy team. In the case of Anna, it's not supposed to be a reaction to something. That's the nano on some target. Like if you have a nano blade, that's supposed to be the thing the enemy team needs to react to. That is the thing that needs to be reacted to, right? So that's the starter. It's the initiator. It's the nano. Like that's when whoever you nanos knows, oh, shit is supposed to go down now, so I gotta go in and get a huge 6-man blade with this nano boost that I just got. And I feel like, I mean, okay, well, under any circumstance, oh no, okay, I can actually see that it is much bigger. I wonder what happens when it reaches the second point then. I haven't seen that yet. But yeah, it's definitely Fuck. What did I come to? Oh, right. Yeah. No matter what, it's the right decision to use nano on someone there because it's the last fight, right? You're in overtime, so like you have to use all the juice right now, and you do. And I think it works out. Like the diva doesn't quite. She's doing that thing where she's standing at a distance. Funny fact. You might know this, but if you nano diva while she's throwing her bomb, and she's still nanoed when the bomb goes off, that your damage boost actually applies to the bomb as well. Same thing if you're playing Mercy. If you damage boost mini diva while you're playing Mercy, and she uses the bomb is going to get that damage boost. Very rarely relevant as Ana. Like, you generally don't want to nano boost a baby diva just to get the extra damage in that bomb, but now you know. It's like, if there ever is a situation that arises where it's like, well, this actually seems like the best idea. Unfortunately, the nano doesn't transfer from her into when she's back in the mech. You can't like do it at last minute, and then she also gets like the nano in the mech suit, unfortunately. Same thing with, like, it's funny to think about it, but the Hanzo ultimate does the same thing. If you have a Hanzo who uses his ultimate and you nano boost him, his dragon is going to get that damage boost too. That can actually potentially be more useful sometimes, especially if you're trying to like burst down. Let's say you get a huge grab from your Zarya. You fire off a dragon, but the enemy team has a Zen. He trances. No one can die because he just keeps everyone alive forever and ever. Potentially, I think you might actually be able to burst him down anyway, or to burst at least the squishies down anyway, if you give nano to the Hanzo who uses his ultimate. I'm not sure. I'd have to look up the numbers, but it's potentially something to think about if that situation ever occurs. Is that a misclick? Just 1 second. Take this off. Or was it because you were trying to predict the soldier's path there? This is also okay, well, it's overtime, so it's not like, but they did have a widow before, so I'm not a fan of doing this because you have a barrier over here, you have the corner over there, you know. But yeah, no, it's overtime. I can understand why you don't care too much right here, but just, you know. Yeah, I think you... Yeah, I'm assuming that's what happened there. Like, you thought he was gonna run that way, but he didn't. You should try to hit a nade there, I would say, especially because there was like 2 targets. Like, when you see something like that, if you can hit a nade on 2 people on the enemy team, that's huge. Or not necessarily huge, but potentially huge. You know, just throw a nade there. Like, let's just, you know, he's coming out. I'm pretty sure you can hit one there. You like, wait a little bit, then, yeah, just, I don't know, whatever. Nitpicking. And easy game. Get that last kill in slow motion. All right. I think that's all I had right now. There's a thing I forgot to notice if it's something that you do at all, is the quick scoping. Anna's quick scope. Let me see. Let me just see. That's still a funny sleep, dude. I can't remember if you do it throughout the video. But Anna actually has a quick scope thing that she can do. Oh, we're on the game. And it's just this. Oh, there we go. You can see the minute you can see the crosshairs on your, because they disappear momentarily there, right? Crosshairs come up. See, barely. You can shoot immediately. The thing about this is, it causes a bit of a cooldown on the scope, I think. Or maybe not on the scope, but on, like, your time to shoot. It's like you can zoom in here, right? And you shoot immediately. And you can shoot immediately again. If you quickscope, then you can't shoot immediately. Like, it goes on a bit of a cooldown if it does that, and I guess it's because Blizzard didn't want Ana to be, like, an actual quickscope sniper character, right? Because they don't like that kind of thing. Same reason that you can't quickscope as Widowmaker, you have to let it load up in time. So I think that that's completely on purpose that they balanced it that way. Turn a bit of this sound up. It's a little quiet here. Right. The best use of this is when you can see that one of your teammates, because it has that cooldown, the best use of it is when you can see there's a teammate who needs healing and he needs it right fucking now. He doesn't have time to wait for the projectile to reach. He doesn't have time. Like, it's very obvious that there's just, he just gotta have some emergency healing right fucking now. Boom. Right. Get it down to a science if you do it enough. It's a long time since I've been doing it. It's a long time since I've been playing Ana seriously. Kind of stopped when I realized that Blizzard don't like
Nap time.
heroes that actually require skill to play. Just felt like I was getting punished.
You're powered up. Get in there.
The other thing about quickscoping is that you can jump while you're doing it. Oh. Right. So you don't slow down. Because if you just scope in, slow down a little bit. You jump. There's no problem. You keep your momentum. So I think you slow down a little bit. Oh, maybe not actually. I'm not quite sure. Maybe you don't. I don't know. That's you know. Again, that's probably not going to save you from anything anyway, specifically, even if, like, it does. I actually thought you'd slow down a little bit. Maybe that's... Well, the point is, you can stay scoped in longer, actually. You scope in. You're jumping. If you just need to do that one small heal on someone who's far away, you can just barely reach them. Or you just barely get, like, a sight line on them. Alright. I think I was talking about earlier with learning how to predict. You can see, you can time it, you know, and then start getting a sense of where and how, like, how long is the projectile travel time, and is it worth even trying to do the projectile, or should I just scope in and try to go for the shot like this? Right. But yeah, that quick scoping thing is just worth having in your kit. It's not that often that you're in a situation where it's, like, super necessary to be able to do that, but it is just good to have. Oh, let's see, is there anything else with... Oh, I missed that one. Just clicking my caps lock button for some reason. Yeah. So those are like the basics of, like, Ana, just as how I play her. You might know a few of these things already, but...
It's quiet time.
Yeah. Get used to the projectiles, their travel, like, trajectory, their travel time, all that shit.
Experience always wins.
See there where you need to start predicting. Or if you just need to aim straight on the target. You can do that on enemy too, of course, if you see someone who's low and you need to just get that in immediately. I think, like, the minute you know when you can do it is just as the, like, you can start seeing the crosshair, like, you get that little symbol on the screen. I think that's the moment where you know that you can do it. I've heard Ryu Jaehong's claim that it's better if you have toggle to do it, but I don't know, I've never really felt a huge difference between Like if I use toggle, or if I use, one second. If I use toggle, or, yeah, this is how long it's been since I've played. And I haven't even adjusted my sensitivity and shit since back then. Alright. What was I even going to talk about? Oh, I'm just rambling. Alright, toggle. That was that was what I was going for. God damn it. Toggle zoom. I don't think it really is like. No, if it, I don't know. Like, if anything, I feel like that's maybe it's like 10 milliseconds faster or something. I don't fucking know. And that's like pro players, man. Like they min max so much that it's stupid. So they're like, oh, it just feels weird as well. I don't know. I don't think this doesn't feel faster to me. But whatever. That's Ryujay Hung's claim. I generally do it with toggle off, and I don't feel any difference. Where the fuck did she go? Off. Get off. Yeah, that's it I got for now. I hope that's hope it's worth something, and it's not all just repetition of stuff you already know. So yeah. Thanks for letting me do this. It was actually fun.